Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB.
Motherfuckers! I'll kill you slow. Bitch. Anyone else?
Why not? I rewatched Twister pretty much to prepare to watch Twisters. I love when a sequel decides to just make the original title plural. It's worked out for the most part for most sequels. Let's see if it does. For this one, 2024, film directed by Lee Isaac Chung, and the plot follows a new, younger, or at least more recent group of tornado chasers who are going around, and at the very beginning, holy shit. Big event happens to our main character, Kate, and you see her basically have to be dragged back into the field and chase this one tornado that is kind of a big deal. That's kind of going to be, I think they call it an F5. It's one of the biggest in history. It's supposed to be this landmark thing to capture. Now, what I thought of Twisters was, I thought the movie was fine. I didn't love it. I didn't dislike it, of course. I just thought it was fine. You know, I'm not blown away. I'm not sitting here going like, man, am I glad that they made a new Twister movie. Man, do I think it was worth it for all of these years later. I will say this, Lee Isaac Chung was the director. I thought he did a good job of directing the movie, and I saw that he fought hard for the movie to be shot in 36 millimeter. Like he wanted the movie to have a certain look to it. Didn't want it to look too sort of what more recent movies look like. I can appreciate that. I like that he fought for that, and I think Spielberg, who produced it or co-produced it, was with him on that. The cast. Let's talk about Kate, the main character. She's played by Daisy Edgar Jones. I'm not quite sure. I probably should have double checked this actress's filmography because I don't believe I've seen her before, or at least I don't remember seeing her before. I thought she was fine. She definitely has this demeanor through most of the movie where she's sort of sad and regretful, and it's for good reason. The very beginning of the movie, fuck, does she go through some messed up stuff. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying she shouldn't have acted like that, but she is sort of maybe the least energized or the least person with charisma and not the most interesting person to follow because of that. She's fine, but for example, I really enjoyed Tyler, who's played by Glenn Powell. And clearly we are in the Glenn Powell assance because he, ever since Top Gun Maverick, this guy has been in a bunch of stuff. He's been starring in a bunch of stuff. And this movie, it shows how and just how much he should be a leading man. I mean, he has the charisma. The guy is good looking as fuck. I mean, how do you look at him and not think that he is going to sleep with any woman that he says hi to? That's kind of the vibes that Glenn Powell brings when he's on screen, especially because at first I thought he was going to be like a cocky asshole type guy, but no, pretty quickly they established that he's a good guy. He's a good-hearted guy. He just, maybe he came across at the beginning a little brash. Also, man, do I feel bad for Anthony Ramos. I had seen this guy in a couple of stuff, and so I went into this movie kind of curious on how they would play, especially because he was in Kate's original storm chasing team, right? And what happens, happens. And so you figure, well, they at least have that bond. They at least go back so much, and they've been through the same stuff. But when Glenn Powell shows up, it's clear that if she's not going to end up with that guy, Glenn Powell has the closest chance to be the one that Kate will pick to date. So Anthony Ramos, he has a scene where he sort of admits his feelings or that he's always had feelings for her. And I'm like, dude, bro, it ain't gonna happen. It's not. It's not gonna happen. It's more cringe and embarrassing to see you pour your heart out. And the Kate character shows no interest in him at all. Like, it's clearly one-sided. And there's a couple scenes where it's like he's almost sitting there in the corner. It's almost like in Twilight with Bella, Jacob, and Edward. But like, at least Jacob had moments of looking like he had a chance. Anthony Romo's just, no, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. And it was a tough situation to go through. Some of the other cast, I want to mention Sasha Lane, because I really liked her in that first season of Loki, and she doesn't get a whole lot to do here, but it was cool to see her. Kiernan Shipka, who I didn't see the Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, whatever show that she did, but I saw her in a horror movie last year, and I liked the actress for what it's worth, and she's only in this movie for a quick little short bit. David Corenswet, who is going to be the new Superman. So when I saw him pop up, I said, oh shit, that's Superman. It's so funny how we've had so many different actors playing Superman, and this guy hasn't even played him yet, or I haven't seen him play him yet. And I saw him on screen, and my mind went to, oh hey, it's Superman. Also, Katie O'Brien, who is starting to be in like almost every movie that I end up watching at some point. The CGI and the special effects. I specifically wanted to mention this because I rewatched the original Twisters, which came out in 1996, and I praised that movie in my review for how great it looked, for how well the special effects still held up to this day. I'm not saying this movie looked bad. It didn't look bad. It looked good. It looked serviceable. But it did look like a movie that was made today. And I know that might sound like, well, of course, because it was made today. I don't know what it is. It's just there is something about today's CGI. When done really, really well, yes, CGI today can be great. But it feels like with most blockbusters today, CGI, whether we are desensitized to it or whether or not there's just a certain level of computer texture that gets put over these things, that it didn't look as real or as tangible as the first movie did. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's like, it looked good enough, but I still, in the back of my head, didn't feel like it was really kind of this chaos, disaster type stuff going on. I've seen plenty worse. The budget for this movie was $155 million, and that seems like a lot. It's way more than the original one. Again, inflation, so maybe that's a little not fair to compare. But I saw that the box office was about $311 million, so I don't know if that's considered a win, because even though the budget was half of that, you still have to like double how much a movie needs to make when you put in promotion and advertising and blah, 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 bullshit. A lot of mumbo jumbo behind the scenes stuff. I'm getting into the weeds here. The point is that I think this movie is good enough. It's serviceable enough to not be a bad movie, to not be a big, giant, fat waste of time. But I also don't feel like I'm coming out of it going, fuck yeah, this movie ruled. Fuck yeah, this movie rocked. I'm just sort of left with like, okay, that was fine. You know, and maybe I'm underselling it compared to other people. If you have seen this new movie, let me know in the comments below. What did you think of it? Did you like it more than I did? Try not to come across as negative. I guess I would give this a good date movie. Although, if you're Anthony Ramos, don't bring your date to this movie, because they're going to see Glenn Powell and it's over. It's over. Believe you me, I'm in the same boat, where it's like you bring a girl to this movie and she's going to be all about that dude, and you're going to be sitting there going, God damn it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.